with Janessa. We're going to have a time of singing some really great songs. We're going to have some worship songs, and on the team this week we have myself, we have Emma, and we also have a couple of new faces, one of which is one of our young adults, Andrew, and we also have our worship pastor, Beat. So, I guess it's time for us to get started.
Janessa, we gotta go to the campfire song. We gotta go get to the campfire right now. We gotta go. Come on.
Okay, I'll be there in a minute. Well, I guess I forgot about that part. We are also going to do a silly song around the campfire. So after we do a silly song and a couple of worship songs, we are also going to hear from our program director this summer, Erica. She is going to give us a devotion for this morning. So I can't wait to see what she has to say for us and just all the things that we're going to do for this morning. Well, I guess I better go join them at the campfire. We're going to do a song that's called the Chicky Chicky Beat. You're going to get to know all of our names really well, and I hope that you'll sing along with us. Let's go. Hey there, Luke. You're a pretty cool cat.
You got a lot of this and a lot of that.
We all think that you're pretty neat, so come on down and do the Chicky Chicky Beat.
Okay.
And up, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, and down, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, to the left, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, to the right, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, all around, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky.
Hey Emma, you're a pretty cool cat.
You got a lot of this and a lot of that. We all think you're pretty neat, so come on down and do the Chicky Chicky Beat.
And up, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky,
And down, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky,
to the left, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky,
to the right, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky,
all around, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky.
Hey there, Christy. You're a pretty cool
You
cat.
got a lot of this and a lot of that.
We all think you're pretty neat, so come on down and do the Chicky Chicky Beat. And up, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, and down, Chicky Chicky,
Chicky Chicky Chicky,
to the left, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky,
to the right, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky,
all around, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky.
Hey there, Noah. You're a pretty cool cat.
You got a lot of this and a lot of that. We all think you're pretty neat, so come on down and do the Chicky Chicky Beat. And up,
Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, and down, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, to the left, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, to the right, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, all around, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky. Hey there, Janessa, you're a pretty cool cat. You got a lot of this and a lot of that. We all think that you're pretty neat, so come on down and do the Chicky Chicky Beat. And up, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, and down, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, to the left, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, to the right, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky,
all
all
around.
around, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky.
Hey there, campers! You're a pretty cool cat.
Got a lot of this and a lot of that. We all think that you're pretty neat, so come on down and do the Chicky Chicky Beat. And up, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, and down, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, to the left, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, to the right, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky, all around, Chicky Chicky, Chicky Chicky Chicky. Woo! Oh yeah.
Higher than the mountains that I face, stronger than the power of the grave, constant in the trial and the change. One
Hey guys, it's Erica. I'm just gonna take you guys on a journey of the last about year and a half of my life and the path that God placed me on kind of before I really knew what he was doing with me. And it kind of starts back when I was about 16 and I had a youth pastor at the time. Her name was Lisette, and she was just a very strong influence in my life and my spiritual journey at that point. And I remember having a conversation with her in her car at some point saying, you know, I think I would like to be a youth pastor. And she kind of was like, oh, that'd be awesome. Like, you should totally do that. And then not thinking twice about it whatsoever. And going through, you know, thoughts of like, maybe I'd like to be a hairdresser. Maybe I'd like to be a receptionist and work my way up in a big company, make lots of money, and travel the world and do all these crazy adventurous things. And it kind of brings me to about spring of last year, 2019. I was attending a youth workers conference here in Edmonton, and a few of us were kind of hanging out in the afternoon before the conference or just after a session or something, and talking about, you know, life and ministry and all that kind of stuff. And I kind of was just like, yeah, I would be a youth pastor like tomorrow if I could. And they were like, yeah, like, why are you not doing that? And I was like, well, you know, school. I don't like school. Never liked school. Bless my mother's heart, I've not liked school since kindergarten. And yeah, not really thinking anything of what I was saying. It was just kind of whatever, just talk. And that night, we attended something called Soul Care, where, you know, all the youth workers kind of gathered together in worship and prayer. And there was a couple different stations set up that you could go to if you wanted during that time. And I felt this kind of need to go for prayer, and I didn't really know what I was going for. And got to the back, and this guy came up and asked, you know, what can I be praying about for you? And it was just like instant tears and a blurting out of, I think God's calling me into youth ministry. It was one of those moments where it was like I could hear what I was saying, but I didn't feel like I was saying it. And just having that prayer time and leaving and going home that night, and then just coming back the next day, and again, not really thinking twice about it. Going into a session with this girl who's a youth pastor in BC, and she's just talking about making sure, you know, you're taking the spiritual care of yourself that you need, and, you know, opened it up to questions if you wanted to stay back and ask her. And the questions I had for her as soon as we started talking just completely vanished, and I just blurted out, like, tell me what it is it like to be a female youth pastor. And so we just had this massive conversation, and she was like, have you talked about or thought about school? And I was like, no, I hate school. I don't love it. It's not my thing. And she's like, you need to go and talk to somebody about the coalition. I was like, okay. And she's like, go talk to Sid and Marv, and they'll help you out. And I kind of left the conversation being like, oh, you know what? Like, I'll just Google it later. And then I got down the stairs, and Sid was running most of our conference that weekend. And I get down to the stairs, and at the bottom of the stairs is Sid. And I was like, okay. Like, we're in like a corner of the church where there is nobody else, and the sessions have ended like 30 minutes ago. So I was like, all right. So I went up to him and I introduced myself and told him, you know, I've been talking upstairs with Cara, and I would like to know more about the coalition. And he was like, yeah, come with me. So like, booked it across the church, went and introduced me to Marv. And then a week later, I applied for the school. 2 weeks later, I was accepted, and I started last fall. And it is like this incredible experience where I didn't realize that the thing that I had been volunteering and doing for the last now 9 years was something that I wanted more. I didn't realize the thing that I had been doing for the last 9 years now was something that I truly wanted to just be doing full time. And God knew that before I did. And I just wasn't listening. because looking back on those last many years, there had been so many moments where I could recognize like the call that God was giving me that I wasn't listening to. And it was just like all of those little moments leading up to that just came together. And since then, I've really tried to be in tune with God as much as possible, to really hear, what his plan is for me, and be receptive of it and trust him in that process. And it's been hard and challenging at many points. But it has been so incredibly rewarding. And leading up to this point, like I said, I had no plans. I was just gonna live day by day and see where the wind blew. And I was just gonna go there. Found a verse that just completely encompasses everything that I was feeling leading up until this point, and what I needed to do. And that is James chapter 4, verse 13 to 15. And it says, "Now listen, you who say, today or tomorrow we'll go and do this or that at this city and spend a year there and carry on business and make money. Why? You don't even know what will happen tomorrow. What is your life? You are a mist that appears for a little while and then vanishes. Instead, you ought to say, if it's the Lord's will, we will live and do this or that." I think it's great to have goals. And I don't want you to misunderstand what I'm saying. It's like, goals are important. They help us get through the day, get through the month, get through this season of life we're currently facing. But goals can disappoint us if we leave God out of them. So a good way to begin planning is to ask yourself, what would I like to be doing in 10 years from now, in 5 years from now, in a year from now, tomorrow? And then also ask with that, how will I react if God steps in and rearranges my plans? I had a vague plan. I was engaged, and my now husband was finishing up 4 years of engineering, and we were finally going to be out of the world of school, where you're working really hard and it takes up a lot of time. God just came in and said, that sounds great, but we're going to do something different. And I needed to trust him on that and really listen to him on that. And I'm glad I did. Having plans is great, but have a loose grip on them to allow God to push you around, and let him do that to show you the correct path. I'm going to pray for you guys before I let you go. Heavenly Father, I just want to pray a blessing over just our world right now, in the state that we're in, and the things that we're facing, the new challenges, the old challenges, the heavy ones, the light ones, everything in between. I pray as we attempt to plan the next steps of our future, that we allow you to be a part of that plan, and that we listen to you when you call on us and you tell us, hey, let's take a new path. I pray that we'll be receptive to that and really hear what you have to say and trust you. I pray over just the rest of this online camp experience, that you continue to provide great ideas and thoughts for us to share with campers, and that they're able to still be disciples of you to their friends and their families. I pray this all in your son's name. Amen.
Hi guys, thanks for joining me this week for Jammin with Janessa. I hope you had a great time, and thank you to everyone who helped put the songs together, and for Erica for the devotion. I hope you all have a great rest of your week, and see you next time.